If you ever find yourself traveling through the rural edges of South Africa, there's one piece of advice the locals might give you, though not directly, and never comfortably. Don't be outside after midnight, not near the old stations, especially not near Kwasiba Station. Most people laugh when they hear it. I did too. I was wrong. My name is Aaron Vance. I run a small YouTube channel focused on abandoned places and unexplained locations. Nothing supernatural. At least, that's what I told myself. I chased atmosphere, history, mystery. Not ghosts. Kwasiba Station came to my attention through a random comment under one of my videos. Try Kwasiba, just don't stay after midnight. That was it. No explanation. Of course, that made it irresistible. It took me 2 days to track down its location. It wasn't on official maps anymore, just scattered mentions in old railway archives and a few vague references from local forums. When I finally reached the nearby settlement, the mood changed immediately. People avoided eye contact. Conversation stopped when I mentioned the station. One man, probably in his 60s, finally spoke. "You can go in the day," he said. "Just don't stay when the clock turns." "What happens if I do?" I asked. He shook his head slowly. "You won't understand until it's too late." I went anyway, of course I did. Kwasiba Station was worse than I expected. Not in a scary way, just dead. The platform was cracked, split open in places where weeds forced their way through. The station building leaned slightly to one side, its windows shattered, doors hanging loose. The rails were rusted beyond use. No trains had passed through here in decades. It was perfect for filming. I started recording around 5 p.m. By sunset, I had already captured enough footage for a solid episode. The golden light filtering through the broken structure created a haunting beauty I should have left then. Instead, I stayed. By 10 p.m., the atmosphere had changed. The silence wasn't normal anymore. It felt heavy, like the air itself was pressing down on me. Even the insects had gone quiet. I checked my watch. 10:47 p.m. "Still time," I muttered. I wanted night footage. It would make the video stand out. So I set up my camera facing the tracks and waited. At 11:12 p.m. I heard the first sound, a faint scrape, like metal dragging against stone. I turned quickly, scanning the darkness. Nothing, just the empty station. I exhaled, trying to calm myself. Probably just wind. Then it came again, closer, longer. Scrape. This time I pointed my camera directly towards the tracks. The lens adjusted, focused, and then there was something there, at the far end, standing between the rails. At first it looked like a person, tall, thin, completely still. Relief hit me instantly. "Hey," I called out. "You shouldn't be out here either." No response. The figure didn't move, didn't react. I zoomed in, and everything inside me went cold. It wasn't a person, not really. Its body was wrong, too narrow, too elongated. Its arms hung slightly below where they should have. Its head tilted at an unnatural angle. And its face, there wasn't one. Just a smooth surface, like skin stretched over nothing. I stepped back. What the hell? The figure twitched, just slightly. Then it moved. It didn't walk. It shifted forward in jerky, unnatural motions, and with each movement, scrape. The sound wasn't from the ground. It was coming from it. I grabbed my camera and started backing away. Okay, I'm leaving. My voice sounded weak, small. The thing kept coming. I turned and ran. I reached my car in under a minute, throwing my gear inside without caring about damage. My hands shook so badly I dropped my keys twice before getting the door open. I slammed it shut and locked it. For a second, I just sat there, breathing hard. Then I looked up. It was standing in front of the car. I hadn't even seen it move. The headlights illuminated its body. Up close, it was worse. Its skin looked like rubber stretched over bone, its limbs bent slightly the wrong way, and that blank face reflected the light like dull plastic. Then something changed. A crack appeared, right where a mouth should be. Slowly, painfully, it opened. And a sound came out. Not speech, not exactly. More like multiple voices overlapping, distorted beyond recognition. Stay. My entire body locked up. Stay. Until 12. I slammed my foot on the gas. The car lurched forward, swerving around it. For a moment, I thought I hit it. But there was no impact. I didn't stop driving. Not until I was miles away. When I finally checked the time, it was 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes. That's how close I came. I thought it was over. I was wrong. The next morning, I reviewed the footage. Everything seemed normal at first. The station, the sunset, the night setup. Then I reached the moment. The figure appeared exactly as I remembered, standing on the tracks, watching. But there was something else. Something I hadn't seen. Behind it, in the darkness, there were more, dozens, maybe more than that, standing between the trees, perfectly still. And as the timestamp reached midnight, they all moved. At once, the video cut out. I stared at the screen for a long time, then I deleted everything, every file, every backup. Some things shouldn't be shown. I uploaded a different video that week, something safe, something normal. But the comments didn't stop. Where's Kwasiba? Did you go? Why didn't you upload it? I never answered, because sometimes late at night I hear it. That sound, scrape, slow, steady, getting closer. And once, just once, I heard the voice again, from somewhere inside my house. Stay. I don't think I left that place. Not completely. And if you ever hear someone tell you not to be outside after midnight, listen. Because whatever waits in the dark, it's not alone. People in the nearby towns didn't talk about Umkalo Station unless they absolutely had to. It wasn't marked clearly on most modern maps, and the trains that once ran through it had long been rerouted. But if you asked an older resident in hushed tones, they would tell you the same thing. Never be near Umkalo after midnight. I didn't believe in any of that. My name is Daniel Cross, a freelance photographer and travel documentarian. I had come to South Africa chasing stories, real ones, not myths. When I first heard about Umkalo Station, I thought it would make for a compelling episode. A forgotten place, wrapped in superstition, abandoned to time. Perfect. That was before I went there. I arrived in the nearby village just before sunset. The place was small, with a handful of houses and a single general store. When I mentioned Umkalo Station to the shop owner, an older man named Saifo, he froze. You should not go there, he said flatly. I smiled politely. I've heard that already. Midnight rule, right? He didn't smile back. It is not a rule, Saifo said. It is a warning. I pressed him for details, but he refused to say more. Instead, he pointed me toward a dirt road leading out of the village. If you go, he said quietly, leave before the night takes hold. I nodded, thanked him, and left. The road to Umkalo station was overgrown, barely visible in places. My truck struggled over the uneven terrain, branches scraping against the sides. After about 20 minutes, I saw it. The station. It stood like a skeleton against the darkening sky. The platform was cracked and covered in weeds. Rusted rails stretched into the distance, disappearing into dense forest on both sides. There was no sign of life. Perfect. I grabbed my camera gear and began shooting. The lighting was incredible. The golden hour casting long shadows across the broken platform. I took wide shots, close-ups, even some drone footage. For a while, everything felt normal. Then the sun dipped below the horizon. The temperature dropped suddenly, not gradually, suddenly. I rubbed my arms, confused. It had been warm just minutes ago. Now a chill crept into my bones. I checked my watch. 11:17 p.m. Still early, I muttered to myself. I decided to push a little longer. The night shots would add atmosphere to the video. I set up my tripod and began filming. That's when I heard it, a faint metallic clank. I froze. The sound came from the tracks. Clank, clank, clank. It was rhythmic, almost like footsteps, but heavier, slower. I turned my camera toward the sound and zoomed in. Nothing. Just darkness. I told myself it was the wind, maybe loose metal shifting. But then I heard it again. Closer this time, clank, clank, clank. My chest tightened. I stepped back, scanning the area. The forest surrounding the station seemed darker than it should have been, as if the shadows had thickened. Then I noticed something. On the far end of the platform, near the old station building, there was a figure. Standing still, watching me. At first I thought it was a person. Relief washed over me. "Hey," I called out. "You scared me." The figure didn't move. I adjusted my camera lens, zooming in for a better look. That's when the relief vanished. The proportions were wrong. Its limbs were too long, its posture slightly hunched, and its face? I couldn't see it clearly, but it looked smooth, featureless. I lowered the camera slowly. "Okay, not funny," I said, my voice shaking. The figure tilted its head. Then it took a step forward. Clank. The sound wasn't coming from the tracks. It was coming from it. Each step echoed like metal striking metal. I stumbled backward, nearly dropping my camera. "Stay back!" I shouted. It didn't listen. It kept moving, slow, deliberate. Clank, clank, clank. I turned and ran. My boots pounded against the cracked platform as I sprinted toward my truck. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see how close it was. I reached the vehicle, threw my gear inside, and jumped into the driver's seat. My hands shook as I fumbled with the keys. "Come on, come on!" The engine roared to life. I slammed the accelerator. As I sped down the dirt road, I risked a glance in the rearview mirror. At first, I saw nothing. Then, it was there, standing in the middle of the road. Impossible. I had driven for at least a minute. There was no way it could have gotten ahead of me. I hit the brakes hard. The truck skidded to a stop just a few feet away from it. Up close, it was worse. Its body looked like a distorted imitation of a human, stretched and twisted. Its skin was pale, almost gray, and it reflected the headlights like metal. Its face, still featureless, no eyes, no mouth, just a smooth surface. Then, slowly, something began to form. A line, a crack, right where a mouth should be. It widened, and from it came a sound, a whisper. "Stay." I felt my blood turn to ice.